become silent and get everything. In the grand kingdom of Viridian, people believed that power lay in words. Politicians debated endlessly. Merchants shouted to sell their goods, and even common folk filled the air with constant chatter. Silence was seen as weakness, ignorance, or even foolishness. Among them was a man named Idris, who rarely spoke. He listened more than he talked, observed more than he acted, and carried an air of mystery. People overlooked him, assuming he had nothing to offer. But Idris knew the secret that few understood. Silence was a key to understanding, influence, and true power. One day, the wise and aging king of Viridian, troubled by the endless noise and lack of wisdom in his court, announced a challenge. Whoever presents me with the greatest wisdom shall be rewarded with gold, land, and my trust. Scholars, philosophers, and nobles gathered in the royal hall, each eager to prove their intellect. They spoke in long speeches. Each tried to outwit the other, using grand words and complicated arguments. The court was filled with noise, but none truly listened. Idris entered, stood silently, and observed. As minutes passed, people noticed his stillness and quiet presence. Slowly, one by one, the voices started to fade. The king, too, watched him with curiosity. Finally, the king addressed him. "You have not spoken a word, yet you stand before me. Do you not have wisdom to share?" Idris simply bowed and remained silent. The king frowned, but something in Idris's calm demeanor made him pause. In the growing silence, the king reflected on the endless words spoken before. He realized that in all the noise, few had actually said anything meaningful. Then Idris finally spoke, just a few words. Silence teaches what words cannot. The king sat back, realizing profound truth in those words. In silence, one could listen, learn, and understand. It was in silence that the mind processed true wisdom. The endless talk of the others had been about proving themselves, but Idris's silence had shown depth, patience, and insight. The king rose and declared, "True wisdom is not in speaking the most, but in knowing when to remain silent." He awarded Idris wealth, land, and a place as his most trusted advisor. People who had once dismissed Idris now sought his counsel. He had spoken little, but he had gained everything. The lesson: from that day forward, the kingdom of Viridian changed. People learned to listen before speaking, to think before arguing, and to embrace the wisdom in silence. Idris had proven that sometimes saying nothing at all was the most powerful thing one could do. Thus, the truth remained: become silent, and you shall gain everything.